Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter. In this video, I'm going to talk about my game of the year for 2021. To even pick this game, I had a list of games on my short list, and for them to be on my short list, I had to, put in a substantial amount of time, or at least have completed the story if they had one. And that's where my list kind of begins. So yes, games like Forza Horizon 5, I know people are going to be outraged it's not that game. Well, I only put about an hour or so into the game because it's not really my kind of game. So I'm going to start off with some honorable mentions. And the first one is a game that I was very surprised was announced back in June. It came out very shortly after in October. And that is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square Enix, where you control Star-Lord. It's an original story that is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but man, oh man, I think I like these characters more in this representation of the comic book characters than it actually MCU counterparts. I mean, you have characters like Drax, you have characters like Gamora that have so much more depth to them. What I love about this game is the amount of bold risks that they took, right? You don't have a lot of single player linear adventure games anymore, but this game literally is that. But it's chock full of content. There's lots of diverging story paths that I didn't even know about. This really reminds me of like a Mass Effect game mixed with, some more of your action shooter games, because you're controlling Star-Lord. You're kind of like quarterbacking your team. So you're able to have Groot do something. You're able to have Drax, Rocket, Gamora. You come across many awesome characters in the game that are part of the Marvel Galaxy or Marvel Universe, but there is just a really good charm to it. You have your ship, you can hang out, you can talk to your people, a la Dragon Age and Mass Effect, build up conversations and stuff like that. Very much a narrative adventure. I mean, it won Best Narrative at the Game Awards for a good reason, because man, oh man, the voice acting is incredible. The facial animations, this game is such great quality. And a lot of people out there are like, hey, is it worth $60 to play a 12-hour experience? I'm like, definitely, yes, definitely worth $60. And man, I can't believe that a Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy game is going to be this high on my list for games of 2021. My runner-up to game of the year, here we go, is Psychonauts 2, developed by Double Fine and published by Xbox Game Studios. This is an incredible game, an incredible sequel that was over a decade in the making here. And what Tim Schafer has done, this guy is a madman to make these kind of levels, to kind of have this story. It's just nothing that in my imagination I could ever dream of. Right? This is some really crazy stuff. You control Raz, but it really harkens back to the days of the good old platformer on like N64, like Donkey Kong 64, Super Mario, or Banjo-Kazooie. It really gave me Banjo-Kazooie vibes, because you have like sort of like your, not an open world, but like a large hub area where you can go and do collectibles, but then they have all these different ways you can go into these people's minds and solve their issues. And it really has a lot of mental illness stuff in there. It really has a commentary on our lives and what's going on in there. And it really is like a deeper message hidden in this game. And it just kind of like, when you think it's over, it continues. And there's just so much to enjoy. The art design is incredible. Like, there's this one area where it's almost like, psychedelic Beatles-esque kind of thing, where it's just a lot of music, a lot of different vibes. And it's just, this game really is awesome. Just such great quality. I cannot recommend Psychonauts 2 enough. And it is on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, definitely go ahead and try it out. And without further ado, here is my game of the year for 2021. And that is Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite. I know I'm a little bit biased because I'm a huge Halo fan, but that also is an uphill battle for 343 Industries to climb, because I had really high hopes, and this game somehow smashed those expectations and was something that I couldn't even fathom being this good. And it really is on two fronts, right? You have the campaign, you have the multiplayer, and it's really where the multiplayer, that's where the game, came out first a couple weeks before. And man, oh man, like, I'm not a big multiplayer gamer, definitely not a big multiplayer shooter. I think the last big multiplayer shooter I got into was Valorant, and then before that was Overwatch. But other than that, I don't really play shooters a whole lot. And this game has its hooks on me. I'm playing this game every single day, just about to, get through that battle pass. And yes, has there been a little bit of turbulence as far as progression and in the battle pass? Yes, but 343 Industries is really quick to fix that. But getting into the nitty gritty of it all, the Halo Infinite multiplayer experience is something that feels so good. Like, these gun controls, the tuning, I don't know if there's a shooter that plays better than this. I am playing it on Xbox Series S, and that's actually where I've played all these 3 games I've talked about today, is on Xbox Series S. And it's just the fast load times, the matter of just a smooth 60 FPS. Never any hitches, never any glitches. I feel like it feels so good. And there's those moments of triumph where you're just yelling and you're taking, recordings and screenshots because you're pulling off some miraculously awesome stuff. I feel like the level design in multiplayer is incredible. And you have such altitude, such elevation, jumping from different angles, and just the layouts of all these levels, of all these maps are just so good. The weapon, oh my gosh, the weapons, man. The sandbox with the weapons and the equipment with the grapple shot and the dash and the sonar and all that kind of stuff that you can combine to create just awesome masterpieces of slays and takedowns. It's just so much fun. And we've had 2 events already. The Tenra event, we had the holiday event. And it seems like, Bungie is going to keep this thing going for a long time. Yes, they're going to keep adding. It's definitely more of a live service game. And the best part is it's free to play. So anybody out there can go ahead. If they have PC, they can download it on Steam, on the Windows Store, through the Xbox app. They can go on Xbox, even the Xbox One. And it's just great to see the ecosystem really expanding and getting into the campaign now. This is the issues that a lot of people had with 4 and 5. They weren't really happy with the story. And I feel like they had this is a very big challenge for 343 to come out and acknowledge that 4 and 5 existed, but then to kind of move past that and also welcome in like the newer crowd of gamers that, didn't grow up with Halo originally 20 years ago. And I feel like they did as great of a job as they could. Could the story have been a little bit better with tying things in? Sure. But I think the end product where we see the game end is on a really high note that I think is a great place to incubate new stories going forward. Whether that is a Halo 7, whether that is just DLC for Halo Infinite. We don't know if it's going to be a platform for not only multiplayer, but for story going forward. We're not sure, but I think it's a great place there. And the story itself is the most personalized story I've seen in Halo yet. After all the main campaigns, you learn more about Master Chief. You learn about his relationship with the weapon, with Cortana, with this pilot character than any other game before this. So they did a great job with really humanizing the Master Chief because he is a human, but sometimes you think he's a robot, right? Because he never takes the helmet off. But they did a great job with there. As far as the gameplay for the campaign, absolutely incredible. Now, this is how you evolve a tried and true franchise and do it in a way that is meaningful and makes sense, right? Master Chief stranded on a Halo ring just basically by himself and the pilot. And he's got to go and get these forward operating bases. It's an open world. You get more of these things. It's like perfect carrot on a stick kind of gameplay. You're powering up your suit. You're powering up your upgrades, whether it be your shields or your grapple shot. They all have different intricacies with how they iteratively get designed to get better and better and better. So that's all really fun there. And then you get, different weapons that you can spawn with, and you eventually get these different points with every outpost you dominate, and you can get more vehicles and different weapons there. But the exploration is fantastic. Having an open world Halo makes so much sense. It's not, dotted with all these question marks and stuff that we would see in Assassin's Creed. There's just enough for you to do there to make this like a good, I don't know, maybe 20 to 30 hour experience if you're really looking for all those collectibles. And I was definitely looking for most of those collectibles because this world kind of begs to be explored. You have different animals and different things, wildlife that's kind of rummaging around. You have these kind of like live things happening with, different banished dropships coming through. And man, oh man, the AI is the best it's ever been. I mean, I'm playing on heroic. I'm getting stuck by little grunts, and the grunts are, doing tactics to try to outflank me. Like, I've never seen that in a Halo game. So to actually see them give me this kind of challenge is incredible. But really, to wrap up my game of the year for Halo Infinite, I mean, this game matters. I've been a long time Halo fan. Heck, in one of my grade school projects, I created a Master Chief out of clay. I wish I still had it, but that's to the level of fan I am. I used to read all the books. So this franchise means a lot to me. I have lots of memories that revolve around Halo, and this game really hits that nostalgia stitch, right? I feel like the multiplayer feels like me playing over my friend's house back in 2001, right? Having those long nights of playing this game, co-op and all that stuff. Yeah, co-op's not in here yet, but it's coming. And maybe it's not the highest quality game that came out this year, right? Maybe that's not the case. But for me personally, if I'm talking about a video game, the best video game that I played in 2021, I mean, you got the multiplayer, you got the campaign, it exceeded my expectations. This is one of my favorite franchises. I got to give it to Halo. Halo Infinite is my game of the year for 2021. I want to hear you guys sound off in the comments. What was your game of the year for 2021? for more on gaming. I put up the game that I played the most in 2021, and you can check out that video. And if you like that, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you hear about more gaming content. That's gonna do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also included 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.